Good morning, everybody. I hope you all have had an absolutely wonderful morning so far. A great day yesterday. I want to thank you again for joining me here this morning. Basically, today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but we're going to be going through the steps I'm taking in my businesses to be successful, and hopefully, we'll go through some things that can help you as well. Uh, Today, I'm going to basically be talking about what I'm trying to get together in order to make what I'm trying to work. So we'll talk a little bit about this show, what I'm trying to do here. We'll talk a little bit about my morning radio show and how I'm trying to make that work. Yesterday, I told you guys about trying to go to a local place around me to sell some popcorn there. So I'll tell you how that went. I guess we probably ought to start there, I would say. Um, so this place was about 10 minutes away from my house. Um, there's kind of a good example of me being just lazy yesterday and wishing that I hadn't have done that. So I mentioned on the stream yesterday that I had generated a QR code, well, actually, my brother made a QR code for me, and for whatever reason, I printed out all the labels, and the popcorn I had made on Sunday, where I still had the original labels with no QR code, and I did what I thought was a pretty good job. If you want to see that video, it's on the channel, but I did a pretty decent job, I think, making a QR code video where basically I say, hey, thanks for the product, or thanks for purchasing this product. I introduce myself, I show them how the product is made. Well, I went to a pretty good sized orchard market yesterday. It was actually really, really beautiful. I really enjoyed it there, and whether or not they buy popcorn, I'll definitely go back just to hang out and bring the nieces and nephews, and really nice spot. But anyway, so as I was driving away, my wife came with me, and I said to her, I was like, man, I should really, I forgot the labels inside, and the original label was already on the popcorn bags. I was like, I should go in there and get the QR code labels so that whoever can see that. And I was like, no, just being lazy. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not going to get it. This will be fine. I've done this 100 times with my regular labels. It worked just fine. I'm just going to leave that, I'll just leave it alone. Well, of course, I get to the place that I'm trying to sell the popcorn at. Real nice girl behind the counter. So I walked around the store, kind of perused the store. The store was awesome, by the way. Ton of fresh local stuff, and everything was looking good. I'm like, sweet. Doesn't look like they have any popcorn. They might be interested in this. And well, wouldn't you know, when I get finally really close to the counter, they had a thing of popcorn. They were like these weird little tubes, so they were about that wide and like that long. And of course, they had cheddar cheese flavor. They had caramel. I think they had a Krabby caramel, and then they had one like tube of regular kettle. So I gave her two big bags, two of my regular size bags of kettle corn, and she said that, well, we're gonna give it to Trevor, I believe his name was. She said, well, I'll give it to Trevor if he has any interest. Then he'll give you a call. And the way that I went about it, I want to tell you guys how I did this basically. When I saw the popcorn there, I'd left the bags in the car. I didn't like come in super hot with like, hey, here's my popcorn. But I did like look around the store, and anyway, I did see the popcorn, and for a minute there, I was like, dang it, I'm not even gonna bring this in. They obviously already have a guy. But I decided, why not take my shot? And so, good morning, Josie. My dogs are up. But anyway, so I did. I went back out to the car. I got the popcorn. I brought back in two bags, and I was like, hey, I see you have a guy. I just wanted to give this to you or whoever is in charge, and you know, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out with your popcorn guy, I just want to let you know I'm available. My number's on the bag, so feel free to give me a shout. I said I've been doing this for about 4 years, and you know, I told her one of my bigger wholesale customers that is a, you know, pretty big, somewhat big name in like the orchard scene around here. So I said I sell to that company, and you know, she's like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, you know, maybe. She said, we like to switch things up every now and again. And so she asked about my pricing and all that. So that was kind of a, you know, maybe not a big mistake. It probably didn't make a huge difference either way. But I just wanted to point out, I mean, yesterday that was just sheer laziness on my part because I was already in the car. The car was already running. I was halfway down the driveway. And then I was like, dang, I should have got these QR codes. And put the new labels on. But then, you know, I said, well, it doesn't really matter. I've done it like this 100 times, and it's worked, so it might work this time. But now, you know, thinking back, I didn't get a chance to meet the actual owner. I would love to get that personal connection with the owner, and the QR code would have done that for me. The QR code video would have at least let a little bit of, you know, humanism roll out, and it's not just a bag of popcorn with no face, or, well, I guess my face isn't in the QR code video, but still, you know, at least it's me talking and saying thank you for buying this and explaining the product, and it just adds an aspect of humanism to it, which personally I think is really important. And I dropped the ball and I lost that opportunity yesterday. So what I'm going to do today, and I'll probably do it here on the air because why not? I'm going to see if I can find this guy, and I'm going to send him an email and just say, like, hey, I saw that, you know, that you already have a popcorn guy, but if it doesn't work out, and I'll tell him a little bit about the product, and, you know, at the very least, introduce myself. And another thing that I'm going to hopefully do is we're gonna talk a little bit about that AM radio show I'm working on. I'm going to be trying to get some guests for that AM radio show. I definitely want guests for this as well, but you know, the way it stands, it doesn't really matter too much, and I can kind of give updates of what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to make it work, and we can kind of go from there. But I did ask a buddy for some suggestions. I got a few people in mind. I've definitely taken some long shots as far as who I can get on here. There's a guy in our area. He owns this really, really big tree company. He's definitely a multi-millionaire now, and he has an amazing come-up story. He basically, you know, he actually was a heavy drug user and alcoholic, and you know, at 27, he just decided that that wasn't the life for him, and he wanted to do something else. So he bought a chainsaw and like a leaf blower at an auction or a yard sale, and you know, started the company from there. Awesome story. So I'd love to get him on. But there's a lot of really good guests that I'm reaching out to, and hopefully I'll be able to bring those to you guys. I think it's only just a matter of time until I'm able to bring some guests on here, and really share some other stories. But you know, we'll get there. So let's see what we can do here as far as finding them. So I'm searching right now. And what we're going to try and do, so all I know, she didn't give me the guy's last name. All I know is that this guy's name is Trevor. So you'll see me, this place is called Local Homestead. I will try to do an overlay here. So let's see if we can do our window capture. Let's see if this works. Ooh, okay, lovely. We'll turn off the laptop webcam. We'll go here. Okay, lovely. Okay, so this is the place I was yesterday. As you can see, it's like, well, it actually looks kind of small from this photo, but it was enormous. So, I mean, I guess first thing we should do is we'll say meet local homestead. Oh man, you look like a Trevor right there. Boom. Trevor Hoff. So that's who we need to talk to. That's who we need to ask about the popcorn. Established in 2011, Local Homestead Products began as a small produce stand that highlighted the importance of local products and supporting small family farms. Marston Road is home to over 100 acres, and 5 generations of families have farmed year after year. Starting out as a dairy and crop farm, throughout high school, Trevor Hoff raised Angus beef cattle and quickly realized that he needed a home for his products. Proudly serving Carroll County, specifically New Windsor, Local Homestead Products has grown into a farm market that not only grows their own produce, but also raises their own line of beef, pork, chicken, and turkey. Dang, I saw all those. I saw the pigs and the chickens and the turkeys. Cool. This market today is home to a number of products, including local honey, Maryland maple syrup, an exclusive line of jams and jellies, glass bottled milk, beef jerky, and of course a long line of fresh produce. Here's another thing. This is kind of a side note, but I really, really want to figure this out. So, I don't know. I probably didn't mention this, but as we go through, you'll see there's a lot of businesses that I'm trying to make happen. One of which is a canning operation, because I've got like a built-in customer base for canned goods. And so I saw yesterday when I was perusing the store that these guys have their own, they have their own Local Homestead branded canned goods, and they got everything, salsas, hot sauces, jams, jellies, pickles, corn, everything. And I've really been trying to figure that out, because I know that I can sell those canned goods if I can do a private label. I went through like a 3-month process of trying to get a canning license. And I eventually determined that it was kind of out of the realm of reasonable possibilities for me at this exact time, because you have to get a commercial kitchen, you have to run all this permitting through the FDA, you have to send them product samples with all the product recipes, and obviously I don't have any samples because I don't even have any recipes on how to do it. So again, this is a pretty deep sidebar, but I did find some canning classes that are like, very close to me, and I've never canned anything, but I know that I want to do canned goods because, again, I already have that customer that said they would buy a ton of canned goods from me. So if I have that, I know I probably should try to do it. And I could definitely push that and do well with it, I think so. So I would love to talk to this guy. If he doesn't buy bags of popcorn, really, who cares? It would be nice, but I would also love to see if I could figure that out. So we'll see. So it looks like we want to talk to Trevor directly. We want to say, Trevor, I hope you got a chance to try the popcorn, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if we're going to be able to talk to Trevor directly, because so sometimes, as you probably know, websites will throw their name and the owner's name and a couple different email addresses up there depending on who you want to talk to. It looks like here we've got info@localhomestead.farm, which may or may not end up getting to Trevor. Who knows? Let's see if there's anything we can find. I wonder if we can hello, puppies. I wonder if we can find them on Facebook. I get a little worried about reaching out on Facebook. I just started my Facebook back up again so I could, push the things that I'm doing. Not necessarily on my group of friends, but I did just get my Facebook back, and I'm a little squeamish to reach out over Facebook. I'd much rather do it via email if I can. Okay, but it doesn't look like we have much of a chance. I'll show you guys the gallery just for S and G's. Cool. Dang, look at that mason jar full of honey. So really huge facility. I was really impressed with how many products they had. Um, they got a ton of flowers and plants and vegetables and everything like that. And good lordy, that's a big old pumpkin, teeny little cow. But yeah, so they had a really awesome store. If you happen to live anywhere around here, definitely do recommend checking it out. But none of this matters. Let's just go ahead and reach out on the contact form. See if we can get this in the hands of Trevor, because chances are he tried it, and chances are he was like, well, we already have a guy for that. So at the very least, I would like to say something. So we got info@lhpfarm.com, and that's the best we can do on this website. Let's just take one more shot in the dark here, because we know this fella's name is Trevor Hoff, I believe. Is that? I think it's Trevor Hoff. Right, okay, so we got Trevor Hoff here. Let's do a Google search for Trevor Hoff. Local homestead. And maybe we can just search email, and sometimes you never freaking know. Sometimes we can get it done. Trevor and Victoria Hoff. Let's see, this is probably some kind of grant program. We've got farmcredit.com. There's their greenhouse. Freaking awesome there. I highly doubt this would have their email in here. Let's scan this though. Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Nothing. Let's see. We've got Trevor Hoff. Ooh. That's awesome. That's really cool. Good for you, Trevor Hoff. Let's see. Well, we've got his address here. Okay, so looks like we're probably not going to find an email. And I will say, in doing this a few times, trying to sell popcorn, and when you're going to these farm, type orchard deals, a lot of times, like, these people, they're farmers. Like, they spend the majority of their day out in the field, and they're maybe that's I don't know, but they're not that heavy on email is what I'm trying to say. They're not that heavy on social. They're not that heavy on email. And if they have other people working for them, it's a good chance they're strictly working on the farming part. Which is funny, because when I went there yesterday, the girl behind the counter was like, "Oh," and just luckily I caught the name Trevor. I guess maybe not luckily, because it doesn't matter because I didn't find him, but or I didn't find his email. But she was like, "Oh, I would give this to Trevor right now and introduce you, but he's out spraying the fields right now, and he won't be back in till this evening." So, he was literally out working on his produce, and that's that. So, let's, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and shoot Trevor an email, or we'll shoot info@lph.farm an email, and we'll kind of go from there. Who knows? I'll keep you posted as to if we get a message. Oh man, we got the puppy dogs. Gmail. Blah, 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 blah. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'll mute you guys. You're welcome. Gotta love it. The dogs see the neighbor, they're just losing their mind. If you haven't ever seen my dogs on these videos, there's the Doberman. And they got the coonhound barking as well. Hold on. Let me go comfort the dogs. It's okay, girls. Sweet. Still nobody watching, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so what we were going through this, I'm still gonna have to look for something, guys. So I'm sorry about that. If for whatever reason anybody ever does watch this, it's probably very annoying. But let's start, and we'll just title this Popcorn Guy. What's poppin'? Kettle corn. Good morning. Let's just say my name is James Goss. Good golly, it scared the shit out of me, boys. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Okay. Now, a lot of people say you always want people to be listening to your shows. Whenever you're doing something, you want to hope for as many people listening as you can. Now, I say, don't worry about it, because if they're not listening, you can do whatever you want. You can walk around for 5 minutes looking for whatever it is you need. You can go reheat your coffee. Like here I am, taking a break, pouring some hot coffee into my cup of coffee, because it doesn't matter. The only person's obstructing their day is me. So no problem. But anyway, so we are going to go ahead here. We're going to try and get this email off. Good morning. My name is James Goss. I stopped by yesterday with 2 bags of kettle corn. I hope that you all were able to enjoy them. I hope that you all enjoyed. No winky face. I go back and forth on this type of stuff. I'm definitely a sucker for a smiley face. In fact, I have a regular yellow smiley face tattooed on my ankle. Big time smiley face guy. I'll throw them into business things because I think that, very, well, I can't say very occasionally, but I try not to, in all honesty, but I just kind of feel like it makes a lighter atmosphere of like, we're having fun. We're friendly. I can throw a smiley face at you. So, to each their own, however you want to play it. But personally, I do like, I'll throw a lame smiley face in there. Hope you all enjoyed the product. I just wanted to reach out. I saw that you were already stocking caramel kettles. No, I won't call them out. I'll just say I saw that you were already stocking another variety of popcorn. I just wanted to let you know that I am available let's see. I just wanted to mention that I also do live events. And people really enjoy watching the process of the corn being popped in, let's see, I just want to mention that I also do live events, and people really enjoy the process of the corn being popped in the giant kettle. It's a great atmosphere for kids and adults alike. Although I would love to get some products in your store, we just moved here in September, so this was our first time checking out the store. It was amazing. My wife and I will be back regardless of if we are able to work together in some fashion. We just moved here, so well, it was amazing. My wife and I will be back regardless of if we are able to work together in some fashion. Okay, it's a little wordy, but I'm not gonna. My wife and I will be back regardless of if we are able to work together in some fashion. I wanted to also point out that I do live. Okay, wait. I've already said that. So sorry about the dogs there. So I thought that a live pop during the summer or fall would be greatly appreciated by all in attendance. Let's just say would be a great addition to your outdoor activities. please don't hesitate to reach out. We're going to just go about this very conversationally, so we'll say last thing. I focus primarily on kettle corn, and although I do have other varieties, kettle is my main focus. Perhaps you would be interested in selling continuing to sell other flavors made by the other supplier. Just a thought, no pressure. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Best. What's poppin'? 301-648-0887. So I know I have a video about this, so I won't go too deep into it. Feel free to check that out, but I do talk about taking long shots. I would say this is a bit of a long shot as far as asking this guy to stop selling kettle corn from his supplier right now, buy it from me. Maybe honestly a little bit too much of an ask. Maybe I should just keep it and just say, hey, I can do live events, but I really want to get in that store. It's really close, and I think I could really help them do great business as well. They're obviously not pushing a bunch of corn, but I know the other orchards I sell to are like really able to push kettle corn. And when I say push, I just mean they move a lot of it. It's not like they are like, forcing it down anybody's throat. People love it, and it's it's brought customers into them because they come back for the kettle corn. So I hope that can work here as well. So let me just double check this before I send it. I'd say thanks for your time and consideration. You know what? I guess I am going to throw the QR code video on here. Hopefully this guy doesn't watch the video of me sending this email. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it would be slightly embarrassing. But good thing nobody watches. We're good. Don't overthink it. Okay. So let's just go ahead. We'll go to my YouTube channel. YouTube. Here's my escaping the neon. We'll go to my channel. And here we go. Somehow we have 9 views. Well, what a day. Okay, so let's share this. There's our link. We'll copy that link. Okay. Paste. Control. Oh, shit. Oh, probably shouldn't curse. Okay, whatever. We'll send that and see how it plays out. Okay, so we got that sent. So that is that. Next thing that I think we'll go ahead and do, I'll switch back to me here. I guess y'all don't need to see my emails. There we go. Let's go back here. Let's bring me back up. Oh, there I am. Okay, so I think what we should do from here, another thing that I was going to do today is reach out to get a logo made. So for this particular show here, so I had a general idea of what I wanted to do. So super easy. My brother is going to be helping me with this label. But I do have videos in the past. I've used Fiverr, and that has actually worked really well for me. My brother just made a logo for something that he's doing, which is baseball cards. He's selling baseball cards on eBay. And he sent me the logo that he made, and it was funny because I was going to reach out to him yesterday and say, hey, I've started the show, Internet Morning Entrepreneur, and he had a great logo guy that he had got on Fiverr before, and I'd done a few on Fiverr myself. Well, I'd gotten a few done on Fiverr, I should say. But he also did as well, and he found a really, really good guy. I was going to ask about that, but he actually started making his own on Canva. He did a really good job, so I want to see if he can make something cool for our Internet Morning radio show here. So what I'll do, I kind of have an idea in mind. And so we're going to do like the I in internet. So it's, iAMentreprayneur, Internet Morning Entrepreneur. So we're going to do the I as a microphone. Try to not make that look too phallic, if we can avoid that. Then we'll do AM. And then we will do lowercase e, maybe. I don't know. Let's try it with a lowercase e. Okay. So I told him yesterday that I would send over a general idea of what I was thinking, and then underneath we will write Internet Morning Entrepreneur. Okay, so let's see if we can get a logo at some point, and maybe by next week we'll have a little intro to the show and that type of stuff. Maybe we can crop that a little bit. go ahead and send that out. Okay, so now if you've seen my videos before, you know that basically the way that I try to run my days is extremely simple. I just have what I call the running list of tasks. Basically, I write the most important tasks that I need to do for the day to have a successful day, and I try to knock out the most important ones in the beginning. So let's go to my feed stream here, but as you can see here, we've got, there's a ton of stuff here that I've been keeping track of. So now, let's see. I basically did everything yesterday. I had to basically prep. I'm going to start popping again on the roadside on Thursday. So I had to go get my sugar, my oil, propane. I had plenty of kernels, so I was good on that. I wanted to go to local homestead. I wanted to do this morning show. I did want to message one of my wholesale clients and make sure we're good to go again this season. And then a couple other personal things that I had on the list, so I wasn't able to finish the entire list. The personal things fell through the cracks, unfortunately, but that's okay. We're going to put those for today. We're going to put them in red on our list here so that I know that they were left over from yesterday, and I'm going to make that a priority for today. Doberman going crazy. So, oh my lordy, these doggies going crazy. Okay, so let's see what else we can do to be productive today. Let's maybe we'll try to search and we'll see. Well, you know what? Let's try to get some guests on the show. Maybe that's a good plan of action here. So we're in the Frederick area, Frederick, Maryland. I think I kind of touched on this, but so I'm doing a few different things. Obviously, I would like this show to become something that people can get value out of, something that people can join me every day on. As it stands right now, I'm just going to kind of be knocking out things that are important for me to do during the day. I'm going to try and tell you guys why and how I'm going about them. I would like the show to be, more interactive with anybody that's watching, and we can kind of talk about ways to have productive days, and we'll get into anything and everything, just working on becoming the best, most successful versions of ourselves we can possibly become. But in the meantime, I obviously have to work on growing a following. As of right now, there's not a huge reason why anybody would ever want to watch me, and I'm trying to find a way to just add value into the show, be able to help people, and see what it is that other entrepreneurs are interested in, what they want to talk about, and honestly, I want this to be an entertaining show. I want this to be fun, so I need to find ways to add elements. Look, I've got my coffee here in a weird Pyrex thing, but at least I got plenty of coffee. So So with the AM radio show, basically what I've done there, I reached out to a local, I had a connection when I previously worked at American Exteriors. I went through the whole thing yesterday, but that was the commercial renovation company. And when I went through, and when I was working there, the owner, he really wanted to do a TV ad. The TV, we brought somebody in from Comcast advertising department or whatever they were. And they told us it was going to be like $60,000 for like 3 months worth of advertising. I really didn't think it was a good move. That was a ton of money, and it didn't seem like we had enough of a target market, so I was like, you know what, we should try a radio station. We should do a local radio station. That's got to be cheaper than, and not to mention we also had to pay to get a video ad done, and that was also like 15 grand on top of the actual cost to run the ads. So I thought, I just didn't think it was too good of an idea. So I reached out to a radio station, and I happened to reach out to a local Frederick station, somewhat selfishly, because obviously I was still playing salesman at the time, and I wanted ads to run in my local area because, I was driving to Lorton, Virginia and DC looking at jobs and all that good stuff. And I wanted to make it so that everything was closer to me. And so anyway, I reached out to this radio station and got a good response. And I met this woman who was awesome, super sweet lady, very helpful. And she offered, sorry about the dogs, guys. Hopefully anyone watching has dogs and this isn't super annoying. But they're sweet most of the time. I love them. So we're keeping them. But so anyway, I met this lady and she really was awesome. And so of course we were in the construction and renovation space. And she offered, even though the ads were very expensive, she offered that if we wanted to do a trade for advertising time, she had some work she wanted to get done at the actual station headquarters. So I was never able to pull that off because the owner of the company at the time, before he passed, he wasn't necessarily interested. He did, eventually he said, told me, hey, if you really think this is a good idea, I'll do it. But I'm not in love with the idea. As soon as he passed, the first thing that the lady said, who was, taking the company over or trying to buy the company, still is trying to buy the company, she was like, no, I'm not interested in that at all. So I still think it was a great idea. But anyway, the long and short is I made a good connection with her, and I reached out to her and I said, hey, I do this YouTube channel. This is before I was doing the Internet Morning Entrepreneur. But I said, hey, I have a YouTube channel, and really, I just want to get my message out. Actually, I wonder if I could ever find this thing. If I can find it, I'll play it on the show tomorrow. I'll make a note to see if I can find it. I don't want to go through all of my files to try to find this thing this morning, but I'll make a note of find the first contact with WFRE. Because basically, the first thing that I had sent them beforehand, I looked up how much a radio ad was, and before I even reached out on behalf of American Exteriors, I reached out on behalf of myself, and I sent it what I wanted to be an advertisement, just like a quick 30-second ad, and literally all it was me saying, like, I hope you have a wonderful day. Like, it was a very cheery, I wasn't selling anything. Literally, it was just a message of, like, I hope you are having an excellent day. And they nixed that. They were like, no, you have to actually be selling something. You can't do that. I don't know. Their reasoning for not running it was kind of silly in my opinion. But who am I? I'm not the FCC. I know that. So anyway, but it was funny because I did reach out again through American Exteriors, and I said, hey, I was actually that guy. I laughed when I had an in-person meeting with him. I was like, yeah, I guess that ad I sent in didn't work. And she was like, oh, we love that thing, but yeah, we can't run something like that, but that was awesome. And maybe you can incorporate something like that in your ad for American Exteriors. So I think when she found out I was the guy that was trying to run that original ad, I think she was like really receptive and super friendly about it. But anyway, so yeah, I built a decent relationship with her, and then from there, I asked if, I said, hey, I have this YouTube channel, and where I'm, basically trying to push the values of, just becoming the best versions of yourself, that type of thing. I sent her some content that I had created, and I said, I really want to be on the radio in some fashion. Would you guys be willing to give me any airtime at all? And I was lucky enough that she was like, we can get you on Saturday mornings at 8:30 once a month. So to me, the biggest draw of that is that, anybody can create a YouTube channel. Tons and tons of people do create YouTube channels. And my goal is to interview entrepreneurs for you guys' sake, but also for my sake. I'm obviously learning and growing and trying to build something really awesome here. And I stress all the time, I think the best possible way to do that is to talk to and work with entrepreneurs that have already done this and are, doing well in their space. And like, really, I'm just trying to learn from people. And I think the best way to do that is to talk to entrepreneurs and also be able to build connections with entrepreneurs and just get to know people around here. So but I think it's a lot harder to just say like, hey, come on my YouTube channel. I have basically nobody watches and I have less than 100 followers. I'm not hating on myself or anything like that. Like, I realize I got to start somewhere. I'm super happy with the start. I love it. But I think it's a lot harder to land an interview when you're just like, hey, go to my YouTube channel. And you'll see that I like occasionally post content. But I think it's a lot easier of an ask if you say like, hey, I'm on no matter what, even though this is AM radio, and I don't think it's necessarily going out to my target market. I think, a much older crowd listens to AM radio, especially AM talk radio. But all I really wanted was to be able to say, I would like to interview you, and this is going to be on the radio. Because that's like a built-in set of viewers. It doesn't matter that I only have 100 followers on my YouTube channel. All that matters is that I can now say that like, hey, this is, if you do an interview with me, it's going to go on AM radio. So they're not just thinking, well, it's only going to go to 100 people. They're thinking, well, it's going to, and it will, go out to anybody who's listening to AM at the time. So that was my big reasoning for wanting to do the AM radio show. And I think that will work. I've done one episode so far, and I think it went well. But I definitely, my whole thought process of like, it'll be really a lot easier to land interviews when I say this is going on the radio. That hasn't necessarily panned out because it just really hasn't. So hold on. The puppies want to come in. Oh man. Got a Doberman scratching at the door. It'd be scary if she wasn't so sweet. Good morning, Akila Wheela. Oh, hey puppy. Hey puppy doggy. Hi. Good morning. Okay. Oh man, you still got your shock collar on. Oh jeez. Yeah. Hi. Okay. Sorry, guys. So anyway, that necessarily hasn't worked out exactly how I had hoped. But everything's always going to be way harder than you anticipate it to be. And I'm sure I'll find guests. I just might not be able to, land these big fish right off the bat, which is fine. But I will tell you some of the people I've reached out to, the way that I found them. I just literally Google searched like, top entrepreneurs in my area, which again is Frederick. So I just searched top entrepreneurs in Frederick. And this is a skill that I kind of learned from being a salesman for a couple different companies and finding the contact information, similar to what I did this morning with trying to figure out Trevor's contact information. But, with farms, again, I find it's a lot harder to find the contact information. But when you're working with like, these big entrepreneurs, these big business owners, it's at least a lot easier to find more information on them. Still very hard to find their email address because everybody wants a piece of them, right? Like it's, there's a lot of people that are vying for very successful people's times. So I have a couple of people that I think I could interview, but I still would like to line up more. I'd love to have people on this show to talk about what they're doing, but all in due time. I think we'll get there, but it'll be a process. So anybody that would like to join me on this daily morning show, I think is awesome, and that would be fantastic. So let's, I'll try to talk a little bit about what I am going to do today and how I'm going to try to make some progress here. We've already sent our popcorn email to that particular customer there. I'm gonna I'm gonna search around and see if there's anywhere else that would be a good spot for popcorn. Something else I will mention that I dabbled in before. I want to actually start with how I became not necessarily obsessed, but how I started thinking, well, this could be really, really good for me. Like 2-ish years ago at this point. Let's see, we got an email back. Let's make sure it's not from, nope, okay. So, like 2-ish years ago, Reddit, if you're familiar with that, Reddit had a live streaming service they called RPAN, which is Reddit Public Access Network. And it was, Reddit decided they were going to dabble in like a Twitch-like live stream platform. And so I hadn't moved into this house yet, because obviously, as you saw, we moved in here in September, but I was still popping, and basically I got on RPAN, and I was literally, it was freezing cold. I was in my garage stirring popcorn, and it was just me. You know, a lot of times my wife is helping, but it was just me. She had to work, and so I just got on RPAN, and I got like ridiculous, like, you know, there was like hundreds of thousands of people watching, and there was like a huge amount of interaction, and people were loving it. So I started doing it constantly, and I probably did, over the course of RPAN, I probably did like, you know, 15 to 20 live streams, and some were better than others, but all of them were, you know, they went really, really well, and it was great. I was able to, you know, so basically I started thinking, man, like live streaming is the way to go, because first of all, people love watching the popcorn being popped. It is really, really fun. It's very, very satisfying. And so I started a Twitch thing, and here's a big problem that I come into all the time. I'm really not that good at technology. The fact that I'm live streaming this right now, and I have to have like this secondary software to run through YouTube, that's like peak technological, you know, prowess for me. So it was a struggle, because I was trying to live stream to YouTube Live. I was trying to live stream to Twitch, and I really wanted to build a following on Twitch. And none of that ever really worked out. But on RPAN, I was killing it. I got a ton of followers, and that was such a great platform because, you know, basically there wasn't that many streamers on that platform, but there was a ton of viewers. And, you know, a couple times I had friends like reach out, like, you know, random high school friends, and they'd be like, dude, are you popping popcorn on the internet right now? Like, there's like, you know, 500,000 people watching you. And, you know, some girl reached out and she's like, my husband, you know, was watching this guy pop popcorn on Reddit, and I was laughing at him, and then I realized I recognized the voice, and it was you. And so, you know, it's just crazy like how many people that went to. But I was never able to find that magic again, as far as like, you know, because people could just stumble on you, and then you could become, you know, like you'd become top stream, and then once you were on top stream, you were like on the front page of Reddit. So I was lucky enough that I was able to become, you know, the top stream on Reddit, which then, like, you know, just increased the viewership of the stream ridiculously, because, you know, when anybody signed into Reddit at that time, you know, the first video playing was my video. So that was awesome. But I was never able to find that again on Twitch or YouTube Live, because it's not like RPAN was, where, you know, you can just kind of scroll through the videos and, you know, come across whatever, and then if you end up enjoying it, you know, you stay on the stream. With this type of thing, you have to know this is happening. At least I think you have to know that this is happening. Twitch is a little bit different. Like, you can scroll through the Twitch streams and see like, oh, who's live. So I am going to get back on that train. Unfortunately, RPAN, you know, for whatever reason, they decided, or Reddit decided, that they're not going to do live streaming. And so that shut that down for me. I was definitely disappointed in that, because, you know, I had big dreams for that. But didn't work out. But I think Twitch and YouTube Live, obviously I think that because I'm here right now. But I do think Twitch and YouTube Live is a really good, you know, there's a ton of potential there. So one of the things I am going to do is I will be live streaming the popping on the weekends. At least I'm going to do the best I can. I got, you know, there's always some kind of hiccup, and As of right now, the laptop that I use, the battery doesn't work. It has to be plugged in all the time. So essentially, I have a desktop. So I am going to try to like do the live stream from the phone, and we'll see how that works. I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage it through a phone or not, but yeah, what I'd really like to do is to live stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Um, and I just, I really think it would be a good way to grow a following, and hopefully, can talk about this morning show, and hopefully grow this. So, you know, I hope this time next year I'm looking down at the viewers, and maybe I'll have like 10, 100 would be awesome, but who knows? Um, and so yeah, I'm gonna basically I'll be live streaming over the weekend, and I think that is gonna hopefully draw some people in, because again, I just think the process of watching the popcorn being popped is really fun. Um, it's definitely fun to do, and I think it can draw people in. So I'll be doing that. I'll be giving that a try, and also, another benefit, a potential benefit of that is I think that like people can tip you and that type of stuff. And like when I did the RPAN, there was so many people that were like begging me to send them a bag of popcorn. Because I'm under cottage food law, so I can't sell outside of Maryland. Uh, so I had all these people from all over the world asking me to send popcorn and how bad they wanted to try this kettle corn. And I always had to be like, I can't do it because I can only sell within the state of Maryland right now. And so I did end up talking to another popcorn company, and I basically got them to, they of course had a full setup in this huge facility. So I got them to private label some flavors. So when people would ask, I was like, hey, I can send you some of this, but I can't actually send the kettle corn. And I did that one time. The price of popcorn, this is another thing that I want to mention, but the price of this dude's popcorn was just freaking outlandish. It was like $35 for a bag, like, that big. It was a big bag, but I mean, $35, that's a lot of money for popcorn. Um, and I get it, he's got to pay for a facility and all that, but like, I just didn't feel right. Number one, it wasn't my product. And number two, it was just a lot of money for popcorn. So I had one girl who had reached out, and she was in California, which is on the exact opposite coast from me, and she was interested in starting her own popcorn thing, and she really wanted to try it, and she ordered 2 bags of popcorn, and the total for 2 bags of popcorn, by the time shipping was factored in and all this, was like $110, and she bought it and she was happy as hell. But I was just like, I can't do this to people. $110 for something that's not even my product. It's just crazy. I mean, $110 is crazy for 2 bags of popcorn. Like, I couldn't do it. And so I let that drop because, as much as I like making money and all that, just doesn't seem like that was the right way to go about it. So all of that to say, at least with Twitch and that type of stuff, like, if people want, if they were so inclined, you can get tips, you can get subscribers, which can earn you money and that type of stuff. And so I definitely am looking for ways to monetize, but, and of course, I'm just testing the waters in a bunch of different things. So I tried that avenue, didn't end up going down that route too far, at least. But yeah, so I was able to realize I didn't want to do that, but so basically I kind of dropped the live streaming thing. I also went through a phase of trying to have a cousin of mine and friend do the popcorn. That's a whole nother thing. That was when I was like heavily into the American Exteriors thing. I didn't have a lot of time. He was popping for me. That just didn't work out. I almost lost a customer because of it. And, long and short is I'm back stirring. But yeah, so we are going to try to get back into the live streaming side of things as far as the actual pop goes, and hopefully it will give people, some motivation to go out and do their own thing, and see that it's possible, and see that like, hey, I'm even though I'm not making a killing on it, I'm doing okay, and it is working. So I just want to give people the confidence, and it's fun to see the popcorn being popped. So that's an avenue that I'm gonna try, and I'll keep you guys posted as to how that's working. Um, Tomorrow, I'm hoping to get into a bunch more, and again, I'm gonna find those couple things. Sorry about the dogs again. Um, but I'm gonna get into a couple more things tomorrow. I'm gonna try to find what I told you guys I would try to find, which was, oh yeah, my first email, that video. Lord, okay, maybe they calm down. I don't know. But yeah, so I will try to find another long shot to take today. Again, I'm trying to take long shots often, if not every day. And I would say kind of that email I sent this morning was a bit of a long shot, but not really. So we're going to ask around. I'm going to find a couple more entrepreneurs that I would love to interview. Um, and like I said, I do have a couple lined up, but the ones that I do have lined up, I think are really, really good guests. I'm still kind of dialing in my process. And, honestly, I don't want to embarrass myself, and I want to do a really good interview. So I would love to get a couple more interviews under my belt, kind of dialing this in and honing in how to do an interview that is valuable to people, and getting out of my guests and myself what is actually going to help people and isn't just like me rambling on. So stay tuned for that though, and tomorrow we'll get into a couple other things, and but I think that'll about wrap it up for today. And I want to thank you so much for your time here. I am the Internet Morning Entrepreneur, and we're going to be doing this every single day. We're going to be trying to add some value into our lives, and I hope you join me here. I hope you make this a part of your daily morning. You can wake up with me. We can talk about what you're going to be doing. I'm happy to help any possible way that I can. And if not, you're more than welcome to see what I'm doing, and hopefully it gives you a little bit of motivation to go off and do it on your own. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any ideas, if you're an entrepreneur yourself, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Would love to have you on the show. But other than that, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. I want to thank you again so much for listening this morning, and we'll talk soon. So you have a great one. Thanks.